Hello, my name's Tom Stapleton, Director of the Wakefield Community Access Television Station. And today we have, for the fourth time, the incomparable Betsy Sheeran, Town Clerk of Wakefield. Now, I know that you would not have taken this job if you didn't want to do it. So, this is your, what is it? How many months? 4 months since you've been on job?
I was sworn in May 3rd, so May, June, July, August,
Yeah.
September, 3.5 months.
Yeah, almost 4 months maybe.
Right, yeah, close
and
to
you
it.
really like it, huh?
I love it.
You know what they say about people our age, you know?
Speak for yourself, Thomas.
All right, that was good,
Age is but a number. You know what Satchel Paige said?
Yeah, what?
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Doesn't matter, that's right, absolutely right, you know? So what's, briefly, what's a typical day like there? I mean, I know it's busy, but...
It's busy. I get there anywhere from 7 to 10 past 7 every morning.
Yeah.
We open at 8. I like to line up what we're going to do for the day.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time we get everything accomplished because I meet with the girls before in the afternoon, the day
Yeah.
before. What do we need to get done? This, especially if something might be time sensitive, but we're ahead of the curve on everything right now.
Yeah.
And then we accomplish 99% of the work that we set out. Now, that's in between phone calls, requests that come in, people coming to the counter, filling out marriage certificates, which takes about 15 minutes per, if not more.
Yeah.
And directing people if they come to the wrong office. You know what I mean?
You probably get a lot of that, huh? Because
Yeah.
everybody goes to you.
Well, they do because they come straight in.
Right, yeah.
And we're right at the end of the corridor, and that's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
everything's going beautifully, actually. Yeah.
Good.
Beautifully. Yeah.
Well, it looks like it fits you well. You haven't gone off the wagon yet, but you're doing pretty good, huh?
Oh, I never go off the wagon.
Oh, we have to get in there. Listen, I want to talk about primary election. That was just a while ago there, and can you give us any information about that? How'd that go?
Sure, it went very, very well.
Yeah.
It seems like it was an eternity ago, but it was on the 8th of September, of course, 2 weeks ago today, actually. Yes, it was on a Thursday. You know, it was such an off day.
Right.
And we had, as you know, because we email things up immediately to WCAT and to the item, unofficial results that evening, and
Appreciate
we mailed them
that.
up to you at 8:42 by the time everyone came back and we got everything settled. And the next day we worked on the official results, and then we had to get them by Monday morning, no later, all of the results into the Secretary of State's office. Now, normally we'd have from Tuesday or Wednesday for a Tuesday election till the following Monday, but this was crunch time because it was a Thursday night, and I have to compliment Rose Morgan and Denise Oates, a crackerjack team, crackerjack staff, just fantastic to work for. I say this every month, but they're absolutely wonderful. Giving up a lunch hour to stay, make sure we get things done. I mean, very, very, very good about that.
They're dedicated people, and they know what they're doing.
Absolutely,
so
and bright as a dollar,
big
both
help,
of them.
yeah.
So it's wonderful. And then I had Adam Pinckney, who floats from, and he was in there helping us out too, and he's great too. Adam's a wonderful kid. And we did have 18,486 voters come out.
Okay.
That includes absentees, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's about 10% of the vote. You know, the vote did come out. It was an odd night for people to come out. And there wasn't a whole heck of a lot on the ballot, obviously, you know. Right. And I have the breakdown, you know, if you're interested. I'm not going to give you the one person that voted, not that I have names at all, but I have numbers, you know. There are several parties in Massachusetts, only 4 of which are recognized, you know, as, well, I won't even get into it, but 10,700 people were unenrolled that came out. 2,219 Republicans, 5,359 Democrats. There was a race on the Democratic ticket.
Right.
There. So anyway, it went well. We got
Good,
everything in first thing Monday morning. It was right in for them. So that was fine. So that was the primary.
Well, that's your second one that you've done since, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it second or third?
No, second.
'Cause we have 5 this year now,
We have 5 this year. March 1st was the presidential primary preference. April 26th was the town election.
Right,
So I didn't work
right.
that, obviously. And then the July 19th special,
19. And you have
September 8th, and then November 8th.
and you have 5 of them.
Five
That's
this year.
unusual.
Oh, indeed it is.
Yeah.
And then next year there'll be only one, the town
Only one,
election. It's
yeah.
the off year.
Okay.
So that's that part of it, Tommy.
Alrighty.
Yep. And now we have speaking of the November 8th election, for the first time in Massachusetts, we're going to have early voting.
Early voting.
And I am trying to think of every which way to get this out to the public
Yeah,
and let
yeah.
them know what it entails. So, anyway, I brought this and I will go over it. I sent a press release to the item, and they printed it last night.
Yeah.
So that was on the front page last night of the item, how early voting will work in Wakefield.
Okay.
Okay? Other ways I'm trying to think to get it out, we may create a Facebook page. A lot of people are into the social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be on the Town Clerk's page on the Town of Wakefield website. All of the information will be there. I'm going to use also, and I know some people think they're tacky, but you know the signs that have been up now, the flashing ones that say drought season, conserve
Yes.
water?
Oh, yeah, the
Right.
bulletin board. Well,
Right,
yeah.
it's a bulletin board for all intents and purposes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there are, I believe, 2 in Wakefield. So I went to Rick Stinson,
Yeah, yeah.
and I asked him, once he does his back-to-school safety gig on that, if we could have early voting, and then the second, the early voting begins, and the second sheet, you can have 2 sheets to it, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the dates, October 24th through November 4th. So that we can get it out that way. We're
Yeah.
getting it out through the printed media. It's going to be hopefully on Facebook within, I don't know, hopefully a day or 2. Again, I said on the Town Clerk's website. And then also, and I'm waiting to hear, I'll know when I go back to work this afternoon, the Municipal Light Department, I called over
Oh, yeah.
to
yeah.
see if we could put a flyer,
An insert there.
an insert.
Yeah.
And if we can, it will be in the 12,000 bills that go out the last week in September and 3 weeks in October.
Let's take a look at that.
Sure.
I haven't seen this yet, so.
Now, that's hot off the
Yeah,
press, and
yeah.
Rose Morgan did that this morning, which was great.
Very good. So, explain to me, or to everybody, early voting. How does that work?
Okay.
What's that about?
Well, last night in the paper, and I figured I've got to come up with some
Yeah.
kitschy type thing that will catch somebody's eyes. So I did the 5, who, what, where, why, and when.
Right.
So, early voting information, who can avail themselves of early voting? Any Wakefield resident who's a registered voter by October 19th. October 19th is the cutoff date to register to vote or to change your party affiliation
Yeah.
to unenroll. Well, it's not going to matter in this one, but 19th is the cutoff date. So who can vote? Any registered voter in Wakefield. Next question, what? What's the purpose of early voting? And I put in to accommodate voters who may find it difficult to vote on Tuesday, November 8th, and do not qualify for absentee voting, which I'm going to get into. They're 2 separate things.
Yeah.
All right? Where? Where will the early voting take place? It will take place at Town Hall. Okay? The why. Why would voters choose to vote during the early voting phase of the election? To ensure that personal schedules do not prevent a person from exercising his or her right to vote, as well as to distinguish early voters from absentee voters. And I want to get into that because I don't think everybody makes the distinction. Then the most important thing, or one of the most, when will early voting take place? Early voting will begin on Monday, October 24th, and it will end on Friday, November 4th. So we have those 10 days,
Yeah.
town hall hours. But I'm also going to be open on that Saturday, October 29th, from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. And the reason I was going to do 9 to 12, but then I got something from the Secretary of State's office, and it said if you're open 4 hours, you can get a $1,000 grant. I said, I'm there. For an extra hour, I'm there, because
Yeah.
I wanted to be open anyway. So I filled out the grant application and sent it in for the early voting, the grant application, and the agreement, how long would be
Yep.
open, so forth and so on. That went in on the 19th, the day it was first put out there. So we have the early voting grant of $1,000, which I am going to put towards having some of our vital records rebound. Some of them are in tough shape and they need to be rebound. It's about $350 per volume to do, give or take,
Yeah.
And so we can do 3 volumes, and
There you go.
that's great. Again, I said about extending or differentiating between early voting and absentee. Now, this is the law on absentee voting. There are 3 reasons why you can become an absentee voter. Okay. First of all, absence from the voter's city or town during normal polling hours. So if you were on a cruise or you were in Disney or whatever, you're out of town. You have to be out of town. Second reason, a physical disability preventing you from going to the polling place. And we have situations like that, and that's a given. Or a religious belief.
Yeah.
That's another different story. And also what people don't realize is that an illegal absentee voting, including making a false application, is punishable by a fine up to $10,000 and up to 5 years in prison. So that's the way it goes. Now, to become a permanent absentee, and we do have some people in town that will check all elections, all right?
Okay.
And that's a legitimate thing to check because we have some permanent absentees, and they're usually disabilities. It's an impossibility for the person to get from point A to point B to the polling place. But by law, you should have a doctor's certificate for that.
Yeah.
And we have that for for some, not all, of the people that have checked off every election. And we're going to start to enforce this more and more, because now we have the opportunity for early voting. Now, it's just for the presidential election. I get that.
Okay.
But I don't want it to be we'll just absentee vote. Because we have specificity that we are supposed to follow here. All right? And it is the law that a doctor's certificate for permanent absentee voters, they have to produce it to us. All right. Now, we do have people that will assist people that might be in a rehab for a while, a facility like that, or in the hospital. We can get them. That we get because they fall under. They can't get there. It's a physical disability. All right. So that's absentee ballots that are distinguished from the early voting. Then we have Uokava ballots. All right. And Uokava ballots. How can I? Well,
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard? Okay.
I've never heard of that.
You'll know what it is as soon as I tell you what the acronym
Yeah.
stands for. It's for overseas voters, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Uniform Overseas Citizens, the Absentee Voter Act. It's an act.
Okay.
That's what UOCAVA is. UOCAVA. Now, we had people, and they're going out. They have to be out by the 24th. So they have to be out. We have them all done. They finished them today. We don't have a whole ton of them, but we've got enough. And each one gets an individual ballot. The ballots emailed to them. We've sent them. They're going to Scotland. They're going to Australia.
Wow.
They're going to military. And we email each of the people. They get the ballot and they email back to us. All right.
So it's not just military.
No.
Oh, it's other people who live in a different part of the world, but
Yeah.
they want to vote here.
They're citizens of the United States
Yeah.
and maintain their citizenship.
Okay.
And they vote in the elections, UOCAVA.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into the whole,
No,
every bit of it, but that's the gist of it. So uniformed, people might be in Afghanistan. One of them is town council's son, Tommy Mullen's son.
Yeah.
And Tony, he's in Dubai, and he got his absentee UOCAVA ballot for the primary, and his went out today because we just got them yesterday from the state. We just got all of the information from the state. So that's what a UOCAVA. So we'll have early voting ballots. We'll have absentee ballots for those that qualify. In fact, when people come in now to fill out an absentee ballot, we're going to have them circle what they qualify for to be an absentee ballot. We're no longer going to, take, I don't feel like voting on the 8th, so I'm going to fill out an absentee ballot. And so we have the UOCAVA ballots, the absentee ballots. We'll have the early voting ballots, and then of course the people that will trek to the polls on what will probably be a nice fall day.
Hope so.
So that's it. And then we also have, which I'm going to publish, frequently asked questions about absentee voting. And I'll get that into the paper at some time. And that's the UOCAVA voters. Okay? That takes care.
Are we going into sample ballots? Are you through?
Yes, I'm through with that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you.
So what about sample ballots now?
Sample ballots we got yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's only one ballot.
Okay.
Okay. Precincts 1, 2, 3, and 7 will have this ballot. 4, 5, and 6 will have this because of the redistricting in the different districts.
Yeah.
Now, I got an email yesterday from someone that says, that's in Precinct 7, I think. I don't live in Essex County. Why does it say Essex County? That's the district. The Essex County, it encompasses, and that's Donald Wong's district right now, and he will have a, where is it right here? Representative in General Court. And Jennifer Migliori is opposing him for that seat. But that's fine. That's the 9th Essex District. And then, of course, Paul Brodeur, 32nd Middlesex, is unopposed in 4, 5, and 6. There's a lot of unopposed, you know. Yeah. The major thing, of course, would be the presidential. But on the ballots, we have the electors of president and vice president. And then we come into representative in Congress. We have councilor in the 6th district, so we're the 6th congressional district. All right. Senator in general court, and that's for the 5th Middlesex district. And there is competition there. The representative in general court, Paul Broda, and then Donald Wong and Jennifer Migliori on the other, precincts. Sheriff for Middlesex County, Peter Katusian. Then we have regional school committee. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of the 12. There is a write-in there's no one running for one particular part. And that's what's on the ballots.
Okay.
Okay? So even if people don't go take advantage of early voting, and I'll go over the hours that town hall is open as well. It's going to be in and out. We're going to get this thing, going very, very smoothly. Now, there's 4 questions, and it always bothers me because sometimes the way a question is written out and the proposal there, if you might think you're voting for it because you might agree with it, but in essence you're voting against it because of the way of the wording. But there's 4 questions. The first one is on gambling, gaming commission, etc. Right? I'm not going to get into who's, what's, where's, why, when. But that's question 1, proposed by an initiative petition. Okay. Question 2, again, proposed by an initiative petition, which we have to certify all of the signatures. And this is about charter schools. Okay? And I urge people to read both question 1 and question 2. I'm going to post this in the paper. I'm going to get it out there because sometimes, as I said, the wording is strange.
Yep.
Question 3, again, question 3, again by initiative petition, is about animals. All right? So if you vote yes for this one, this is the one this is a little bit different. If you vote yes for this, it would prohibit in Massachusetts any confinement of pigs, calves, and hens that prevents them from lying down, standing up, or fully extending their limbs or turning around freely. So if you vote yes, that means that the keepers of those specific animals won't be allowed to keep them, really confined. If you vote no, the current law would stay the same and they'd be confined. And because that doesn't have political aspects, well, I suppose it does in a way, but I meant partisan aspects to it. I read it out. And then the last one is marijuana. And I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But, so those are the 4.
Yeah.
The 4 petitions that are on there. And that's about it. We're gearing up for it. We're ready for it. This will be the last time we're using our present voting machines, who are as old as the hills.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have new ones coming in probably in January, and then there'll be training for them, and we'll use them in the town election in April. Yeah. So that's it. And speaking of training, before every election, I meet with the wardens of each precinct and their clerks, and then they disseminate the material that I've given to them out to their workers. We'll have 8 per precinct. And we had a person, I don't know if I'm not so sure. We had a person from the Elections Division of the Secretary of State's office come out and speak to the wardens the last time and be very specific about certain things that, are absolute and positive.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I said, there were some extreme situations that were mentioned that probably could happen in a huge city, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Very, people trying to steal the ballot boxes, come in and take them away. We haven't had that happen. I don't anticipate that. But that's about it, the wrap-up on early voting.
Now, you did the vote in the ballots, and now, do you want to talk about the dogs?
The dogs. I'm hounding people. You should excuse the expression about the dogs. I mean, I'm nipping at their heels.
Yeah.
What happens is the dogs, by state law, have to be licensed and registered and have a rabies certificate, as you know. I talk about them. I talk about them all the time. But anyway, so 99% of the people are right on top of it. But we had a few that forgot or misplaced it or other things happened, and I get that. So we made phone calls, and the window is April 1st to May 31st. All right. So anyway, anything after that, there's a fine. Now, if they continue to ignore it, I'm supposed to report them to the animal control officer and the state, and I don't even want to think about what, I just don't want to think about what it might cost.
Yeah.
So just, we're the cheapest in the state, $5. But then it becomes $10, and it could become $15 if you don't, But even then, it's not astronomical. But, so the calls were made in March. Come and pick up your dog tags. And we leave messages of whatever. Then again in June, some calls were made.
Yeah.
And then again in September. So on September 12th, I said, that's it. We had 154 people that we either couldn't get through to or didn't get our messages or whatever.
Yeah.
So I sent them a letter, and I've got to say, this is what, the 22nd? In 10 days, including weekends. So in the past 10 days, we've had quite a great response. And it was a very nice letter. It just said it was a follow-up to a telephone call and a message which was left regarding your dog. And when I addressed all of the envelopes for the dogs, I put the owner's name and everything naturally, but down in the corner I put, Spot or whatever the dog's name was.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was good thinking.
well, they'll open that right up.
Yeah.
They don't, if it's about that, because people love their dogs.
Yeah.
You love your dog. I love my dog. And, but it asks for, in some cases, verification of the immunization, readily available from the vets, because they'll fax them right over to us.
Yeah.
And it's for the dog's protection. It's required by Mass General Law as well as the Town of Wakefield's bylaws. So, we'll get quite a few of them. It was amazing, How many people did respond? There's another group that hasn't responded, but
you're whittling away at it.
I am, bit by bit
good.
by bit, because there has to be some consequence as well.
Yeah.
Because people that are willing to do it, and I'm not saying that people are being uncooperative, it's not the most important thing on their plate at that given time, and I understand that. So
there you go.
There you go, yeah.
And
Halloween is approaching quickly, and I
yes,
see you have some Halloween candy here for me.
Corn here.
Yeah, that's very nice.
You want to get a picture of that in the season here?
Look at that.
This bowl was full when
I came
Betsy
here.
sat down, and she didn't eat any. I did.
No, I had food. What's the worst treat, and I won't even call it a treat, that I ever got?
What?
A bit o' honey.
Oh, I remember those.
Oh, yoy.
They got peanut butter in it?
I don't know what they... No, those were Sky Bars, I think.
Is that right?
Bit o' honey was like this hard thing that would break your teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go back that far, huh? How about...
They were packaged.
Oh, okay.
They weren't just, they were...
They
how
were
about
hard.
one?
There was another candy thing. We are drifting here a little bit, but It was a flat piece of candy, and it was hard. And we used to get it going to the movies.
What, like a Turkish taffy?
Yeah, that's it. Oh my God.
Chocolate, vanilla,
Yeah.
and strawberry. Take the teeth right out of your head.
It's awful.
No question. You could crack it. Bonomo's
Yeah.
Turkish taffy.
That's it.
What was the name of it?
Oh,
Oh,
boy,
I know.
I
I
tell
loved
you.
them. I liked the vanilla.
Yeah.
I'm
Used to
positive.
get them when we went to the movies.
Absolutely.
It would last the whole movie.
They were last the whole movie. You could take them home for the weekend, and they were a
Anyways,
nickel.
They were a nickel.
They were a nickel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to get into that.
No,
anymore.
okay.
I'm sure most
I'm putting
people
on weight
will.
just talking about it.
But no, this is great.
Thanks, Tommy, so much.
Timing and timed it perfect. We have a few minutes left, but I did want to say, I'm glad that you like doing the job,
Love
and
it.
it's certainly, you wake up in the morning, you're ready to go, and then,
Absolutely.
at nighttime, you say, well,
Yep.
gee, do I have to leave? I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's really great, and so I mean, and like here too at WCAT, I love it.
You love it, of course.
And
Time means nothing when
it
you love
doesn't-
your
yeah,
job.
It doesn't matter.
Speaking of timing, I just want to say that
Yeah.
town hall hours will be the same for early voting,
Yeah.
except for that Saturday, and that's
Uh-huh.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 8 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Thursdays from 8 in the morning until 7 tonight. We'll be there until 7. And Fridays, 8 in the morning until 12:30. We do close half day because we stay, later
Yeah.
on Fridays, on Thursdays rather. But, and all they have to do is, give us a call. And I'm just hoping when I go back that I've heard from the light department and we can
Get those inserts in there.
get them ready to go. And then I would never do a reverse 911.
Yeah.
I would never do that only because those have to be saved for, this is not an
Yeah.
emergency.
Right,
I mean,
right, yeah.
But I've tried to do everything else I can think of between the flashing signs and this.
It'll reach them. All of a sudden
It'll
they'll
reach
wake
the
up.
ones that want to reach.
They want to do it. Yeah. Well, thank you. Very good. Great to see you again.
Nice to
I'm
see you again,
looking
Tommy.
forward to next month and
Yeah.
probably get the results of. Well, no, is it next month? Yeah. I don't know.
I'll get them up to you on the 8th.
yeah.
I might see you in October
Yeah.
before then, but I'll get them up to you on the 8th,
Okay.
ASAP. And I'd like to thank you again and your
Okay.
staff that's
Very
so
good.
kind to come in.
Enjoy it. Very
Yeah,
good.
thank you so
All
much.
right. Take care and
Thanks.
have a great week.
I shall. You
All right.
too.